Alrighty, so the next character we're getting into is Eula. Vengeance will be hers. Birthday, October 25th, so that's in a couple months. Affiliated with the Knights of Favonius, Vision Cryo, the Spindrift Knight, a scion of the old aristocracy and the captain of the Knights of Favonius Reconnaissance Company. The reason for which a descendant of the ancient nobles might join the Knights remains a great mystery in Mondstadt to this very day. I'm actually really excited to learn about her, maybe her family, old ways of Mondstadt, all that stuff. We already got a bunch of it from her character quest, so I'm assuming they'll elaborate a little bit more on this, maybe the other clans as well. Character details. Eula's role within the Knights of Favonius is captain of the Reconnaissance Company. The nature of her work means that she rarely sets foot in the city. She spends most of her time out in the wild, leading her team of scouts as they hunt down Abyss Order operatives and other monsters. Known as the Spindrift Knight, Eula wields her blade with consummate skill, but perhaps more importantly, she is well versed in strategy and possesses great confidence and excellent intuition. Grand Master Varka had nothing but the highest praise for her, even declaring once that she was the Dandelion Knight's equal on the battlefield. Oh wow, I can see where the rivalry is coming from with them two. On the face of it, to have two such outstanding knights attending to the defense of Mondstadt in a single generation should be the cause of nothing but celebration. But dig a little deeper, and there's a fundamental difference between Jean and Eula. For Eula is a descendant of the once aristocratic Lawrence clan. The blood that flows through her veins once flowed through those of Mondstadt's oppressors during one of the darkest periods of the city's history. Consequently, Eula has been viewed with contempt by the citizens of Mondstadt since birth. The Lawrence name stands for a legacy of depravity that stains Mondstadt's past and scars the minds of its citizens even to this day. So whenever Eula appears, old wounds resurface. People despise the aristocracy, and this does no favor for her reputation. However, Eula is strong-willed, and in spite of everything, she joined the Knights of Favonius and rose to the rank of captain. When people in the city voiced their reservations, she would respond head-on, claiming that her chosen course of action was out of a desire for vengeance. This matter-of-fact confession would alarm them all the more and have convinced everyone that she joined the Knights of Favonius only to serve as a mole for the former aristocracy. One person who sees things differently is acting Grandmaster Jean. In fact, she speaks rather fondly of Eula. The rumors are all groundless. The Spindrift Knight is simply misunderstood. That's all. I love how she like turns everything around on people. Like she's like, all right, I'm gonna get revenge on all of you. And then it doesn't happen. So it's kind of like, she's kind of like, it's like, don't believe everything you hear. Cause like, she's like, yeah, vengeance will be mine. And then they're waiting for something to happen and then nothing happens. So maybe, you know, the good old reverse psychology. Character story 1. On one hand, she is a descendant of the disgraced Lawrence clan, the scion of the corrupt aristocracy. On the other, she is one of the top 2 sword fighters in Mondstadt. In other words, Eula is in equal parts tainted blood and superior swordsmanship. There is no knowing when she might strike, nor what she might take from you. In the eyes of the citizens of Mondstadt, the reconnaissance captain is as unpredictable and tumultuous as the waves on a stormy sea. Eula responds with a cold haughtiness to accusations of this nature. To any who dare insinuate such things into her face, she replies, "How dare you? I will remember." Eula will remember that. She is consumed by the desire to avenge herself and is often on the move far away from the city. Sometimes, upon her return to Mondstadt, she will brandish her greatsword and march straight to the Knights of Favonius headquarters. On one occasion, 2 fresh recruits standing guard at the front of the patrol watched this scene play out before their eyes. Alarmed and unsure how to respond, they ultimately did not dare to intervene. Instead, they simply watched on helplessly as Eula made a beeline for Master Jean's office. Much to their surprise, however, hours passed and no sound of a struggle was heard from within. Still worried, the guards raised their suspicions to Cavalry Captain Kaya and Librarian Lisa as I just realized the alliteration of that. Cavalry Captain Kaya and Librarian Lisa. Why did that take me so long to realize the alliteration of their titles and names? Cavalry Captain Kaya and Librarian Lisa as they pass by. The reconnaissance captain is back again. When you saw her, was it when she was marching towards Jean's office for her sword in hand, looking like she wanted to kill somebody? Goodness, I must head over there right away, straight away. How can they have a tea break? How could they have a tea break without me? Lisa hurried to Jean's office the moment she finished speaking. Meanwhile, Kaya took the 2 guards outside and explained to them whilst trying to suppress a fit of a fit of the giggles. We all know that the acting grandmaster is a good judge of character, don't we? The Knights of Favonius are interested in a person's ability, not their family history. That's why she gave up her time to spar with the reconnaissance captain. In doing so, she can preserve the dignity of the Knights of Favonius while also providing a way of settling old grievances. That's a lot of y'all blowing off some steam. That makes sense. Quite brilliant, don't you think? Oh, so that's how it is. So tea break is code for sparring? This kind of thing occurs almost on a monthly basis. But if they're engaged in some sort of strange sparring ritual in there for the sake of settling old grievances and honing their fighting skills, how come they don't make a ton of noise? Someone didn't get the... I mean, they're not fighting. They're probably just enjoying each other's company and nothing else. That's great, learning a little bit more about Eula. Character story 2. In truth, Eula is nothing like the fearsome predator that they imagine her to be. On the contrary, constantly being met with prejudice at every turn means she is often the victim. At one time, shops would refuse to sell her their goods, restaurants would put no care or attention into her orders, and the citizens on her patrol route would refuse to cooperate with her. So Eula work is fraught with difficulties. When conflict arises, Eula fights back with a sternly worded threat to indicate that she will remember this grievance and make the offended party pay for it one day. It seems to work like a magic spell because as soon as those words are uttered, the conflict ceases immediately without ever having to escalate to the level of an all-out confrontation. Funnily enough, although people always have had their guard up around Eula, she is a law-abiding citizen and has never harmed another Mondstadter in her life. She may come across as having a somewhat frosty demeanor, but she is entirely scrupulous in her speech and conduct. No one can even find fault with her actions, and as people gradually get to know her, their morbid fear of her will dissipate. I mean, that's true. That's how it was for us. They will also start to realize her threats of vengeance are nothing more than a figure of speech that simply serve as a verbal warning in the moment. Eula, who may or may not be working to bring down the Knights of Favonius from the inside. Eula, who may or may not be an aristocrat mole. New recruits of the Knights of Favonius find her the most difficult person to deal with. When Jean sends a new recruit to track down Eula in the wilds and deliver a set of verbal orders, they always receive the same response. If you have to resort to tasking the descendants of your former oppressors with doing your work, then perhaps you are not as strong as I thought. She actually just freaking burned those guys. But despite the antagonism in her words, she will complete her newly assigned tasks to perfection. The new recruit is invariably forced to admit that with her abilities, it is no wonder she is able to receive the captaincy within just a few years of joining the Knights. Everyone knows Eula is the frosty and antagonistic Spindrift Knight, the aristocrat who has a score to settle with the Knights of Favonius, an openly hostile and potentially dangerous individual. But is it really the truth of who she is? On the way back, the new recruit thinks back over Eula's every actions. What was that kind and resilient look in her eyes when she wasn't looking at me? She seems to take her job seriously, so surely she will be relied on after all. Damn, the recruits are coming around too. I mean, I guess the recruits are the ones that, you know, they're gonna learn one way or another. I think she was referring to Jean. Yeah, I guess so. She's like, wow, you're gonna make me, one of the former family of the oppressors of your land, do this task? Wow, I guess you're not good after all. And then she's like, all right, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm just joking. Yeah, I'm getting really big Volume 1 Weiss vibes from her. Just saying. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of winter in there too. I mean, technically there is for obvious reasons, but you know, Elizabeth Maxwell and all. Character story 3. Mondstadt is a city of freedom and happiness where even the descendants of a disgraced former ruling class can find true friends. If there is one person amongst the Mondstadt masses that Eula can trust, it's the outrider Amber. Yeah, so they were in the trailer together. Everyone loves Amber, so when she's around, shopkeepers will sell their wares to Eula at the normal price. If they're in a especially good mood, they may even say a few words to her during the process. It is at moments like this that Eula shows her more agreeable side. Because of this, and because Amber is just so nice, she'll often accompany Eula on trips out or even run all the errands for her and deliver the goods straight to her home. Amber is also the reason that the city folk end up hearing all about the reconnaissance captain's accomplishments out of the field. Every time Amber informs them of Eula's long list of achievements in battle, they can't help but give a little gasp of surprise. Early one weekend morning, Amber stood behind a makeshift rostrum erected on a wooden crate and began announcing Eula's latest accomplishments. Recently, the Knight of Favonius reconnaissance captain saved the life of a woman at Dornmat Port. After further investigation with this woman's close cooperation, she then proceeded to successfully capture all the Abyss Order operatives hiding in the vicinity of the port. The woman in question was a renowned legal expert, Yanfei. The woman in question, I don't know, she's an Adepta. I don't know if she needs saving. The woman in question is a renowned legal expert in Liyue, and the Knight of Favonius have since received official correspondence from the Liyue Communications Office thanking the reconnaissance captain for her deeds. Yo, Amber's out here like, she's like Eula's #1 fan. Yeah, Amber's the straight MVP. She's always got her back. I mean, it makes sense that they were in the trailer together, right? Whether because Amber's persistent efforts have overcome historical prejudice, or because Eula's achievement as a knight had quelled the long-standing fear in people's hearts, Eula's life had changed noticeably in recent years. Most of the city folk are no longer hostile towards her, and she has won over the members of the Knights of Favonius with her consistent results on the field. As for the member of the reconnaissance company under her leadership, they support her unconditionally. They always have her back when they head out of Mondstadt's outskirts to defend the peace of their nation. Of course, the person who has always tirelessly rooted for Eula and is now the most delighted to see everyone's attitude towards her change is Amber. They had become friends for a long time before... They had been friends for a long time before Eula ever joined the Knights of Favonius, and as the granddaughter and beloved mentee of the first Outrider, Eula trusts her completely. Oh, that's a little bit of lore right there for the granddaughter of the first Outrider. Interesting. Yeah, because she's like the last Outrider, right? She's like the last airbender. She's like the last of her kind or something like that. So I guess we're gonna learn a little bit more about that as time goes on. Yeah, Amber and Eula are literally Ruby and Weiss. Holy shit. And they have the same color scheme too. Red and like white/blue. Yeah, that's great actually. That's pretty clever. All right, character story 4. One might not expect this from her frosty attitude and sharp tongue, but Eula is a talented chef. What? The reconnaissance company today prides itself on having the best field rations in the Knights of Favonius. One staple of their inventory is a moon-shaped pie, which is her signature dish. Though a field ration, this wonderfully delicious and highly portable food is loved by all who try it. The reconnaissance company's designated chef once attempted that when developing this item. She was inspired by the captain's own baked goods. She extended the baking time to make the crust tougher and also substitute a very highly perishable ingredient with ones that lasted longer, reducing the cost while significantly prolonging the shelf life. Even after such a major change in the recipe, the pie still tasted delicious. So whenever the scouts are snacking, they can't help but wonder, if this is the field ration versions, how delicious must the captain's original recipe taste? Oh boy. The answer to this question is buried deep within the pages of the dusty old book in the library. The Lawrence clan may have been overthrown a long time ago, but they have never given up hopes in one day rising. Yeah, Lawrence clan, rise up. We have been oppressed for too long after oppressing everybody else for too long. Once again, rise up and reclaim their place as the ruling class, so that they are always prepared for the momentous moment. Their offspring are subjected to educational regimen so unbelievably harsh that is considered borderline insane. Noble obligations must be performed to absolute perfection in every possible sense, and these obligations cover etiquette, ritual, and study, as well as cooking and other domestic chores. In the eyes of the Lawrence clan, post-liberation Mondstadt lacks etiquette and taste. When the day comes for our clan to seize power once more, there shall be none who are qualified to be our servants. We must be cautious. We must never stoop to the level of the commoners and set foot in the quagmire of vulgarity. The Lawrence clan's culinary arts teacher is particularly strict. If your dough is missing a half spoonful of flour, or if your condiments was a few grains of salt short, or if you're 2 seconds late removing something from the oven, you are likely to be both scolded and disciplined. As far as Eula is concerned, the Haas cuisine revered by the aristocrats is just another worthless consequence of people dogmatically following outdated rules. Yeah, you fucking boomers. For this reason, the only kind of person who Eula will permit to try her own home cooking is someone who she respects. No, that would be taking it too far. Rather, it would be someone who she grudgingly accepts will keep following her around and bothering her, especially undeterred by her warnings despite having crossed me many times to date. So either Amber or Jean. Oh, this is when she was young. Oh, okay. Interesting. Nice. All right, almost done. Character story 5. Besides traditional etiquette, art is the second most highly prized asset to the aristocrats, known as the second soul. The dance of sacrifice, a ritual used by illustrating families to display their nobility, is thought of as a crystallized form of this soul, the prized gem of the ruler's scepter. Folklore holds that Mondstadt's most illustrious clans jointly created the dance of sacrifice long before the aristocracy's reign of bloodshed began. The third act, which represents the Lawrence clan, is a solo known as the Flickering Candlelight. Oh, is that the dance that she did in her trailer? The most important part of the Dance of Sacrifice, it was performed by the most senior dancer, who was typically the eldest daughter of the Lawrence clan. The Lawrence clan would summon top dancers to serve as tutors for the oldest daughter and ensure that it was performed to perfection. Bleeding toes were seen at some point of pride and a rite of passage for many dancers. This ancient ceremony was a continuous tradition for so long that even today, long after being expelled by the people of Mondstadt, the Lawrence clan still honor it. However, without the grand banquet and the large stage that once featured prominently in ceremonial performances, the Dance of Sacrifice is now far from the grandiose affairs it once was. Furthermore, the stringent requirements regarding the dance's pose and movements have also been relaxed due to the lack of tutors. In the end, the Lawrence clan reluctantly decided that it will no longer be a mandatory part of the curriculum, and they relegated it to a artistic pastime. Over time, the negative connotations and elite expectations associated with this dance have faded away, and today it survives simply as a graceful dance. As the eldest daughter of the present-day Lawrence clan, Eula found it to be a relaxing pastime in her youth and a welcome respite for her other grueling courses of study, which is why she decided to go out and dance by Cider Lake, and Amber was admiring it from a distance. Today, Eula appears to have put her artistic pursuits behind her. At least no one pictures dancing when they think of the spin. I thought that's why her name was the Spindrift Knight, because she's spinning and twirling and dancing. I honestly thought that's what it meant. Nevertheless, a distinctly dance-like aesthetic can be observed in Eula's blade work, yeah, along with the elegant rhythm and musicality that are difficult to capture in words. As her greatsword rises and falls and sways to and fro, her distinctive and graceful poise is like that of a dancer under the moonlight, far away, immaculate, and sublime. Yeah, I thought the whole Spindrift thing was because she was a dancer. Glaciers and waves. Eula is the bearer of the Lawrence family crest, the glacial seal. It is the highest martial symbol of the clan and represents the spirit of the Lawrence clan in the early days of Mondstadt before their fall from grace. Cold and unsullied, undaunted by any flame, composed and unshaken in all circumstances. Few among their numbers have passed the clan's trials in the 1,000 years in the hopes that the clan are passed from one seal bearer to the next. Eula is still quite young when she underwent the trial, but she passed with ease, taking upon the seal in the process. Then she departed with that badge of honor in her possession and had contacted the clan little since. Her icy sword is a manifestation of that strength, whipping around her like a frigid blizzard and driving her foes back. Yet sharp and bright as the ice as she is, she has the name of Spindrift Knight, leading many who hear the name to assume that she manipulates hydro instead. There is a story behind that misunderstanding, the story of a habit. Eula carries an exquisitely crafted bone whistle by her side at all times. Yeah, and she gave us the bone whistle for our birthday, actually. Every time she blows it, the air will be filled with the vivid sounds of ocean waves. The area her company is in charge of borders the sea, and to them, the sound of waves is an excellent tool for disturbing the enemy's judgment or for deceiving less intelligent monsters into believing that great wave is upon them, causing them to thusly flee. Eula is often emerged victorious even when pitting less numbers against greater forces in this way, and her unique combat tactics have earned her the moniker of Spindrift Knight. Of course, a bone whistle is capable of imitating many other sounds, and Eula has her reasons for imitating the ocean waves. It would seem the Glacier Knight or something similar might suit her better, but perhaps Eula herself prefers the rolling waves to the unmoving ice, wandering across the world, meeting and embracing reefs and sand alike with just the right intensity. The free and unbound ocean spray is more akin to her inclination than a thing so keen and frozen in time. I mean, I guess that, even when you get her to Friendship 10, her Friendship 10 thing says, ice is but a shell to protect oneself. You know what I mean? So I think her whole thing is just, her whole aesthetic and her whole theme is just a matter of trying to keep herself happy and not kind of fall to everything with her family's history and people judging her and all that stuff. All right, and this is exciting too. So how she got her vision. What is the true nature of a grievance? Is it dismissal circumstance, an unfortunate past? And what does vengeance mean? Is it to obtain justice and satisfaction, or to drive one's foes into a chasm of agony? Reclamation of a clan's past glories, winning the awe of the common folk, standing once more on the apex of rulership? These things are utterly unimportant to Eula. She never experienced that so-called humiliation. Indeed, it was her clan that tormented her her endlessly. She then attempted to free herself from these shackles, yet struggled to obtain the acknowledgement from others. Her grievance and vengeance are but a habit, a signal, a shield. What remarks she should just laugh off, what concepts she should bear in mind given her unique circumstance and position, how she would fight to settle the weighty issues of her bloodline once and for all. It was that such doubt and more that Eula came under the tutelage of a long forgotten old outrider. From him! Wait, is that why her and Amber are good friends? Did she know did she know Amber's grandpa? Cause in the in like a couple of passages before, it said that Amber is the granddaughter of the first outrider, and like her and Amber are friends. But it says here, Eula came under the tutelage of a long forgotten old outrider. From him, she learned an open-mindedness and down-to-earth persistence that she had heretofore not possessed. Before grievance and vengeance, before clan and outrider, one must find oneself first. One's way of living self-preservation, then call it grievance and name it vengeance. That will not change its essence, strength, and goodness. It would be Eula's very own gentle path of vengeance. When she did at last find it, there it appeared before her, her vision. Damn, once she found her way, once she actually realized, okay, this is how I'm gonna live my life, the gods were like, yo, we respect you. Here you go. Go live your best life, girl. Yeah, that's not bad. She's very complex, I would say. There's a lot under the surface, and it's just, I would say after reading all that, I would say she's one of the most complex one of the most complex characters in the entire game, for sure.
Captain Eula Lawrence, Spindrift Knight, Knights of Favonia's Reconnaissance Company. I extend to you my greetings. Huh? What's that? Yes, Lawrence, the evil aristocrats of historical infamy.
Oh boy.
Oh, we're still very much evil. Just look at me. I'm infiltrating the inner ranks of the Knights of Favonius, all as part of a diabolical plan to exact our revenge and reclaim our former glory.
God, she's literally Mondstadt's version of a troll in like the best way possible. It's like there was like nothing but sarcasm in all of that, and it's just like, who can take her seriously when she says stuff like that, you know?
Knights and aristocrats share the same cultural heritage, but the knights had enough sense to do away with all the superfluous detail.
Yeah, so this is her dialogue, her idle dialogue.
You want to learn some Favonia's blade work? All right then, I'll teach you. Oh yes, I'll teach you all right. Mark my words.
Please teach me, Eula. Teach me your ways.
Aristocratic etiquette is all just for show. Just smile and nod along. I was forced to learn all of the rules by heart, but even I don't take them that seriously.
AKA, get fucked, Lawrence clan.
Quick, under the umbrella, or you'll get soaked. You can't risk catching a cold, because it might turn into something more serious. And if that happens, well, I can't go avenging my clan by picking on the sick now, can I?
I mean, you still can. It's just really shitty to do.
This weather is a hindrance. The thunder drowns out all other sounds, hampering my perception of the surrounding environment.
Ah, makes sense. She is tactical and all that.
Visibility is excellent. If we head to higher ground, we can do a full recon of enemy activity in the area.
I wonder if there's gonna be any other reconnaissance characters, because like for Albedo, he's the captain of the investigation team and Fischl's a part of the investigation team, if I'm not mistaken. So we have like a couple in that department. Eula, I think right now is the only character in the reconnaissance, and then Kai is the cavalry captain, and she's the captain of that. So I wonder if we're gonna ever have like a subordinate of hers, like an underling or like one of those recruits that were talked about in her lore. I think that would be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind if we had like a squire level character, like someone who's like training to become a knight. I think that'd be awesome, almost like a Bennett, but instead of an adventurer, he's like a Knights of Favonius trainee. I'd really like that.
After all, Mika's not the kind of person who'd be able to keep it hidden if something were the matter. The truth would be written all over his face. Over there, look. The kid standing next to Jean in front of the staircase? He used to be a land surveyor in Eula's team. He's very talented in what he does, and a very reliable person.
Hello, everybody. I am Mika, surveyor of the Reconnaissance Company.
Rise and shine. The 2-hour period before sunrise is the perfect time to strike, because the sentries are getting drowsy towards the end of their long night shift.
Okay.
Go easy on the grains at lunch and fill up on lean meat instead. If you get drowsy in the afternoon, anyone who's looking for an opportunity to take you down will make their move.
Damn, dude, like everything is just like meticulous with her.
May the gentle breeze softly send thee into a sweet sleep.
Aw.
one of a select few aristocratic pleasantries that's actually quite lovely.
Yeah, look at that. Before everything went to shit.
Would you like to hear a lullaby on the bone whistle? It'll send you into a deep and everlasting sleep.
What?
No. When it comes to my revenge, far more imaginative means of retribution are in order.
Damn, I'm gonna smother you in your sleep. That's what I took away from that.
The easiest way to destroy your enemy is to take them down from the inside, right?
Let's go.
That's why I joined the Knights of Favonius.
All right, at least she's honest about it. You know what I mean? Like, at least she's just like, yes, I'm here to destroy you.
Since I'm a genuine Knight of Favonius, I fulfill my duties like any other self-respecting individual would. Look, I may be a descendant of a disgraced ruling elite, but I'm not a total degenerate.
Damn, she's like, I ain't no degen, get that shit out of my face.
The role of a scout is to hunt down enemy troops, or fend off the enemy in side skirmishes away from the main battle. There aren't a whole lot of rules, which suits my style very well indeed.
Nice, nice.
Not all customs of the Lawrence clan are despicable. At least the dance of sacrifice is pure and noble. It puts my mind at ease and gives me comfort. It's been years, but it's still dear to me. My body remembers every step that I... Well, anyway, to end this digression, those who wish to master my signature Favonius blade work technique have to pass my dance class first.
Oh, at least we know that Amber got a dance with her in the trailer, so Amber's one step closer. They're gonna rework Amber to be a freaking Claymore user thanks to Eula now, and she'll get the respect she deserves.
We're not so different, you and I. We're both outsiders in Mondstadt. Difference is, Mondstadt welcomes you with open arms, but they treat me with hostility and suspicion.
Sag. That's pretty messed up.
Our feud is for the long term, so rather than get payback on a piecemeal basis, I think I'll make things easier for myself and wait for a day when I can settle the score once and for all.
Let's go.
It could be in 10 years, could even be 20. But don't worry, I won't forget.
Oh boy.
In the meantime, I'll need you to take good care of yourself and have a happy, healthy life, okay?
Damn, she's like, Clementine will remember that. I never forget. Watch your back.
Descendant of a depraved dynasty isn't the most flattering reputation to have. The only way I can shake it for good is if I keep avenging my kin in my own way. Those who desire vengeance need power first, so it makes sense that I would get a vision.
Easy clap. Hell yeah, dude.
My bone whistle makes a versatile range of sounds, which comes in handy for confusing the enemy. I often use it to imitate the sound of the sea, which is where I get my title of Spindrift Knight. This despite the fact that the bone whistle is actually a Liyue tradition. But then again, no one seems to look too closely into that kind of thing. I mean, they took me on, and I'm an exile of Mondstadt, trained by an outcast of Liyue.
Wait, trained by an outcast of Liyue? Is she referring to the outrider that like taught her about like how she should align her like vengeance and, you know, all that other stuff? I wonder if that is Amber's grandfather. I feel like it is. It just makes a lot more sense why then her and Amber would be good friends, right?
Technically, aged dandelion wine should be poured into a silver goblet and allowed to breathe for 12 minutes.
Oh.
Then you're supposed to add ice cubes, ideally so 60% of the ice is submerged beneath the wine. I refuse to do all that, though. It's not worth the hassle.
I guess that's why, I mean, I guess she knows a thing or two about wine and alcohol, right? Wasn't she in the tavern during one of her trailers when she was like the sneeze heard around the world, the sneeze that broke the Genshin Impact community and made everyone pull for Eula, even though at first they were like, yeah, I'm gonna skip on her. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she drinks, I mean, I think she was, yeah, like a bunch of other characters go to the winery too, like Kaya, obviously D-Luke runs it, Rosaria was there one time, Venti, clearly. I could see her getting along with all of them.
Why do mist flowers have to be so rare? The powder they produce works wonders for the bone whistle. It gives a crisper, clearer sound. Amber's someone who thinks for herself. On the day I first joined the Knights, she cleaned my dormitory and gave me a tour of the headquarters. And she's helped me with a myriad of other things in the time since.
Aww.
Now, everyone looks at me like the older sibling who needs the younger sibling to do everything for them.
Uh-oh.
For this, she must pay.
Here we go. Yeah, okay, let's get the revengeance laundry list going. All right, that Amber, watch your back, all right? Your days are numbered.
The acting grandmaster's family and mine are sworn enemies, but she draws a clear line between professional and personal matters. She saw I was capable admitted me into the Knights
Hell
and gave
yeah.
me lots of opportunities.
Hell yeah.
So, when the time comes for vengeance, I'll afford her a reasonably soft landing.
Damn. She's like, you've done everything for me. I'll make sure that your death is quick and painless. Damn, she's kind of, yo, body, like, she's literally just marking down everybody, dude.
She's so annoying. She must have read thousands of books. Could even
Lisa.
be tens of thousands. Meaning, she can effortlessly recall any number of vile tales about the Lawrence clan's corruption off the top of her head.
Uh-oh.
Accurate down to the exact date.
Oh, no.
Logically speaking, she'd be the perfect person to talk to about someone I'd like to track down, but swallowing my pride would be too great a challenge.
Damn. Lisa, you know too much. I'm gonna get you when no one's looking.
Everyone loves her. What's her secret? Maybe I could learn a thing or two from her. Or maybe not. I can't imagine a shining idol would want anything to do with a descendant of a depraved dynasty.
Barbara, you've been spared. It's a good thing that you got that idol thing going for you. Master Varka.
The Grandmaster. He doesn't like to beat around the bush and has no care for rumors or trivial matters. A good guy, I guess. I sparred with him once, which ended in a tie.
What?
But his relaxed expression and leisurely attitude clearly indicated that he had been holding back the whole time. Such indignity. I will not let it go.
Damn. Yo, Varka's actually getting, like, I'm, like, getting really hyped for this guy. Like, after hearing that, see, so here's the, oh my god, dude. I'm so excited for Grandmaster Varka now. I'm so hyped for him. Like, they talked about him a bunch in Jean's character quest, like in Jean's lore. And now the fact that he went toe-to-toe with Eula and it was a tie, but he wasn't even trying. And Eula and Jean are seen as like equals. That's super exciting. And he's the Grandmaster. Like, he is the freaking, the big cheese of Mondstadt, you know, outside of, I love that one line where Paimon was like, all right, well, you're talking about all of these other people, but like Venti's at the top of it. He makes us all look bad because he's lazy as fuck. Yeah, I can't wait for Grandmaster Varka, dude. And he's a Claymore user. And we learned about him from Razor too. Taught Razor how to use a Claymore. And he's like buddies with with Andrius, one of the four winds. I can't wait. I can't wait for Varka, dude. I can't fucking wait for Grandmaster Varka.
I heard that bard sing a few songs about the Lawrence
I'm so
clan.
excited for him.
They were light-hearted and funny stories that mocked the clan in a way I've never heard anyone else do. Even I couldn't help but burst out laughing.
Ah.
And for this, he must pay.
Oh boy, it's like, what? You caught me slipping? Yeah, I started laughing? Damn, you made me look like a fool. I'm coming for you, Venti. Watch your back, buddy. Yeah, someone in chat said that Varka sounds like an absolute Chad. He really does, actually. I'm like, I don't give a damn. He's so cool. Oh, she talks about Razor? Let's go.
Free from social mores and other people's opinions, and no family obligations.
Damn.
Must be an easy life.
Don't talk down about Razor like that. That's not easy. He has like an existential crisis. This man doesn't know if he's a human. He's out here doing his best. Okay. At least she doesn't have him on her hit list, so that's good.
The alchemist.
Uh-oh.
She once gave me a piece of equipment and told me it would help me infiltrate an Abyss Order camp undetected.
Ooh.
In reality, it caused a huge explosion that completely blew my cover.
Uh-oh.
And before I knew it, I was being accosted by 13 Mitochurls.
Sucrose,
Afterwards, I marched straight back there, intending to make her pay for what she had done.
Uh-oh.
But when I saw how panicked and sheepish she looked, and watched her post her results on the wall with the word fail, I couldn't bring myself to go through with it. After all, I didn't get hurt, just a little disheveled. And a little humiliated.
Sucrose dodged a fucking bullet. Let's be real, all right? Let's be real. Sucrose, your time was gonna be cut super short. We would have never seen how great you are. But you know what? We have Eula to thank for that. Let's go. Hey, I love Eula. She's so great, man. She literally is like, God, she reminds me so much of Weiss in Winter. It's insane. She has that rough exterior, but she's really sweet and caring on the inside.
I don't get along with some of the knights, and he doesn't think much of them in general. So you'd think that would make us allies. But the way he always acts so aloof. He's even worse than acting Grandmaster Jean. I want nothing to do with him.
Aw, come on. You're fire and ice, and you're both Claymore users. You guys go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. Damn, I thought she would have liked D-Luke, especially since she was at his tavern.
Diona?
Ooh.
She's a miracle worker when it comes to making cocktails. And to my surprise, we get along really well.
Yeah.
She infiltrated a tavern with the hopes of tearing down the wine industry,
Oh boy.
while I infiltrated the knights to exact my revenge on them. A kindred spirit, it seems.
Wolves in sheep's clothing, these two. No wonder they're good friends. Oh, see, she talks about Yanfei. I wonder if was this who she saved?
This one's a long story.
Yo!
We ended up saving her life once when we were tracking down—
The fuck? How the hell did you save an Adepti's life? What the fuck? I did not realize Adepti needed saving from humans. Aren't they like OP mega hacks? That's crazy.
This one's a long story. We ended up saving her life once when we were tracking down a batch of dangerous cargo that belonged to the Abyss Order.
Okay.
The Abyss Order had packed it up like regular cargo
This is so
and wanted
cool.
it shipped from Dornman Port to Liyue Harbor. She was acting as a consultant for the merchant vessel, where she discovered something in the cargo, and then began to investigate, putting herself in grave danger. Had we arrived just a few minutes later, it's likely she wouldn't have been so fortunate.
I think it's super cool that Yanfei and Eula had an interaction, and they were both the characters that released for the banner for 1.6. So I think that's super cool that they're immediately intertwined in the lore at the same time. I think that's really cool. So Dornman Port, where the fuck is that? Is that even like, I don't think I've ever heard of Dornman Port.
We've kept in touch ever since. I like how smart she is. She knows the rules, but she also knows how to be flexible and act according to the situation. A few of the knights would do well to take a leaf out of her book. Also, with her smarts, maybe she could help me track someone down that I've been looking for.
Oh.
She does owe me a favor from last time, after all.
Who you looking for, Eula? You looking for trouble?
The life of a Lawrence doesn't include much worth talking about. Basically, whatever you say, whatever you do, people will always despise you and treat you like a potential threat to society. It's nowhere near as bad as it used to be, though. Before I joined the Knights, good grief, I couldn't even buy groceries. Even Good Hunter and Mondstadt General Goods wouldn't take my money. I literally had to go out and hunt my own food and cook it over a campfire if I wanted to eat dinner.
Jesus.
People tell me that if I just spoke more softly, or was more polite, or acted more deferentially, others may find it easier to forgive me.
This is what she says in her trailer.
But the only reason they think that way is because they've never been branded a pariah before.
Yeah, I remember this.
There is no easy path to redemption when you're a social pariah. I'm more inclined to stop tiptoeing around everyone all the time and just get out there and make them respect me the old-fashioned way.
Yep.
As in, we square off, and if they win, I humbly accept my punishment. But if they lose, they must acquiesce to my demands. Such as... Well, I mean, if I want to buy a loaf of bread, take my darn money, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that'll show them. How dare you? You don't want my money? What the hell's wrong with you? Are you dumb?
The Knights of Favonius are actually fairly reasonable. At the very least, they reward merit and not social status. The reason they invited me to join their ranks is because I'd sparred with some of their crack troops and won through my own sheer skill.
They're crack troops? What the hell's
Being an
that?
insider in the organization will make getting revenge much easier, as it removes many of life's complications. So what's not to love?
Yeah, there you go.
The name Lawrence only became a social stigma after the clan fell from grace. It was once an honor to be called a Lawrence, but unfortunately, most people have forgotten about that part of history. The Grand Master says that I am performing rather well as a knight, and that if it's not enough to restore the honor of the Lawrence name, it's certainly a strong rebuttal against the one-sided opinions so many people throw around.
That's true.
I'm quite satisfied with that appraisal.
Grandmaster Varka, dude. Like, I'm liking this man. The more I hear him, the more I like him.
If my family members refuse to change their corrupt ways, or worse, continue to cause active harm in Mondstadt,
Uh-oh.
I should be the one to end them,
Oh.
along with the Lawrence name itself.
Sheesh, dude.
For once, it'd be a family obligation I'd actually enjoy. And once the deed was done, I'd be free to pick any name I wanted.
True.
Or even let you pick one for me.
She's about to unlife them. She's like, I'll end them all. And then I get to change my name, Pog.
I'm into all sorts of cool things. Sipping a nice cold drink, sitting in a canyon feeling the biting wind howl past my face, or diving into the lake at the foot of Dragon's Spine,
Oh, God.
waiting for you to stroll by unsuspectingly, so I can sneak up behind you and drag you down into the icy depths.
What the fuck? Excuse me? I was like, wait, what? When she was like, you're gonna jump into the lake at Dragonspine? You realize there's sheer cold there, right? And then she's just gonna be like, she's gonna have like her eyes above the water and just like a fucking croc. And she's just gonna drag. She literally just says she's gonna kill me. I'm scared.
Sometimes, when it's busy in the tavern, they ask me to share a table with other customers. But once they find out that I'm a Lawrence, suddenly everyone gets indignant and provocative, and starts trying to bait me out in some way. I just want to have a drink. Is that too much to ask?
Hey, apparently, Moon.
I like making my own treats.
Ooh.
Not always your typical sweet treats, though. For example, a chilled tomato and aspic jelly egg roll pairs very nicely with an ice-cold glass of berry and mint punch.
That sounds good.
The most important thing is that they leave the people who like eating them with big smiles on their faces.
I want to see Eula with a big smile on her face. Someone get this girl a chilled tomato and aspic jelly egg roll stat. All right, I want to see that smile.
I can't stand a rich broth.
What?
The flavor is too overpowering. It's so filling you can't train or fight afterward. And also, it doesn't really work as field rations. Simply put, Broth and I are sworn enemies.
The food of the Lawrence clan, apparently. Sworn enemies. That's so funny. I love that.
My fighting skills just got a whole lot stronger. But I shouldn't get too conceited just yet. There are some truly formidable knights among our ranks, and I must outperform them immeasurably if I wish to defeat them and avenge my clan. Good. With this much power, I dare say even the acting Grandmaster herself would be no match for me.
Oh, damn. Rematch of the century right there.
How strange. In the time I've spent with you, my strength seems to have improved exceptionally quickly. I suppose I was rather fortunate to make an enemy of you. I'd better dig my teeth in to make sure you can't get away.
Yeah, don't threaten me with a good time, Eula. All right? That's all I'm gonna say.
Excellent. The unstoppable power of an immovable glacier dwells within me now, and no Grandmaster, acting or otherwise, can stand in my way. There is no time to delay. I must devise my plan and unleash my attack. Once I have crushed the Knights of Favonius beneath my heel,
Jesus Christ.
my next target is you.
No! Anything
Don't
but
try
that.
to run. Stand beside me and witness all that must come to pass.
I'm out, Chad. She's coming for me. I love Eula. She's so great. She's awesome. I hope we get more of her. Like, I know she just got dropped on us, and then she got a story quest, and then it's like MiHoYo's just like, okay, you got the character, you got the story quest. All right, see ya. We're gonna get back to the actual plot that matters. I really hope we see a bit more of Eula. I wonder how she interacts with other characters. Like, I know like the knights feel like all divided. I know Albedo's also very like reserved, but I wonder how, if there's any like cross-pollination with other companies of like the knights. Like, does like the reconnaissance team talk to the investigation team, talk to the recruits? You know what I mean? Like, I wish that there was just more interaction with other characters, but I mean, that's still great overall. Oh, we got Ganyu next, Pog.